Hey guys, welcome back to Fred's Garage. Thanks for coming back. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at this brand new tonneau cover I put on the Maverick. This tonneau cover, I got it on Amazon. It's a roll-up, not a trifold. I'll explain in a moment why I didn't want to go with a trifold. I had one before. But this tonneau cover is made by a company called Tonneau, and it was $179. I'll put the description up here. You can see it if you want to order it. It's a really nice tonneau cover for the money, and it's all made out of aluminum. So, alright. So why did I go with the roll-up and not a trifold? I had a trifold before my Toyota Tacoma, and I didn't like it at all. The main reason is the Tacoma, just like this Maverick, they have small beds. And when you load stuff in, you want to get it up against the front of the bed for safety and to tie it down and secure it. The trifold just takes too much space. Let me show you what I mean. Let's open this one. You can't get any easier. There's a strap here, you just pull it down. And then I would roll it up. So let's say this one was a trifold. So that would be the first fold of the trifold. And then what I would do is I would fold it like so. So now this is all the bed space that I really have because the trifold would have a bar here. On the inexpensive trifolds, they don't flip up against the glass. Only the more expensive ones do. So let's say we had a more expensive one and I flipped it up to the glass so I could secure whatever I wanted up against the front of the bed. Well then my whole rear window is blocked. Can't see anything out of it. So with the roll-up, let's start this over again. With the roll-up, it's nice and easy. You just roll it up. Now, you get all the way here, you secure it with your straps, and you can bring whatever you want almost all the way to the front. And it doesn't include your window. So if I had an 8-foot bed, if I had a F-150, I would probably go with the trifold or even a solid one. But since we have the small bed and we want to utilize as much space as we can, the roll-up's the way to go. But once again, that's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion and their own thoughts, okay? Let me show you how easy it is to put this tonneau cover on. Anybody can do it. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay? Let's do it. Alright, so this is the box that came with Amazon. Let's see what came with it. Alright, so first thing, we got this nifty bag. Inside this bag there's a LED bed light. It's nice, I'll use it somewhere. I'm just not going to use it in this bed. I'll eventually put a rocker switch with some LED lights in there. And it comes with this seal. But this seal isn't for the front of the cab, or it isn't for the side of the cab, it's for the tailgate of the cab. And if you read this thing here, let's see if you can see it, it's the tailgate weather stripping. That's nice. I'll use it somewhere, but we can't use it on this project. And the reason why you can't use it on this project is the Maverick's tailgate doesn't come up against this beam. So if I was to put the seal here, the tailgate stops on the inside. So the seal is a nice addition, but the seal's not going to do me any good. So these two we'll set aside. We can always use this gasket for something. Comes with the box. Inside the box are the aluminum clamps. Now let's start off with something that I like right off the bat. These are aluminum clamps. I've seen some tonneau covers where these are plastic. I know in my experience with plastic's not lasting. At least these aluminum clamps, I got confidence they'll be there. So you have 4 clamps in there, and you have the Allen head screws, and they even give you the Allen wrenches, which is really nice. Alright, so let's put that aside. What else we got? We got the side rails. You can see they're very sturdy, and they got the Velcro. But what's really nice about these side rails is they already come with this big gasket. This large gasket already built into it. So I don't have to stick the gasket on, and I don't have to use some little 1/4 inch gasket. This is a solid 3/4 of an inch gasket. So that should seal pretty good. And all the pieces are on this. And it has these 3, and these 3 on the other half of the brackets. And these are very sturdy aluminum brackets, which are very nice. All right, so we got the 2 rails. And last but not least, we have the tonneau cover. And here's another thing about this tonneau cover I really like. It has this big beefy gasket already built in, right in the back. So it should help with the waterproofing. This is a great deal for $185 or whatever it came out to. Let's throw that in the back. Extra buckle. Not really sure what this extra buckle's for, but we'll find out. I'll put it in my pocket so we don't lose it. And what do we got? Piece of paper. They're not directions. That bag didn't have directions. I guess the Chinese, they figure, why do you need directions? You can just watch my video, learn how to put this tonneau cover on. It's a lot more fun anyways. All right, let's start talking about waterproofing. All right, guys, so let's talk about 2 of the issues we have with the unibody construction on this truck, or any unibody trucks. On the Maverick in particular, it has this beautiful top protective piece made out of plastic to protect your bed from wood or whatever cargo you put in here. The problem is this seam. If you can look where my finger is, you'll see that there's probably about a 1/4 inch seam that runs all the way across where the 2 pieces connect. So even though the new tonneau cover has a really nice seal to seal this area, this is open to the elements. And I want to try to keep as much water out. I know I'm not going to make it waterproof, but I want to make it as water resistant as possible. So we got to do something about this seal. On a traditional cab and chassis pickup truck, you're going to have the cab sitting on the frame, and then you're going to have the bed sitting on the frame. In between the back of the cab and the forward part of the bed, there's usually a 1/2 to 1 inch gap. So when it rains, the water would come down, go through that gap all the way down to the ground. And it would have nothing to do. It had a place to go. But on the unibody, the back of the bed is part of the strength of the cab, of the whole truck. So there is no space here. The back of the bed basically is glued on to the window seal. So when the water comes, it's going to have no place to go. Now the tonneau cover comes with a seal that goes across, and a seal that comes around these corners to try to keep the water out as best as possible. But you have these 2 little channels, or the way they're built right here. So the water is all going to come down here, get stuck here in this corner, and I'll bring you in closer in a second, show you. It's stuck in this corner, it's just going to pour right in. And then it would pour down. But if I could prevent the water from pouring in the best I can, it'll try to keep the bed as dry as possible. So what are we going to do there? And you know, some people might think, well, the water will just sit here. It will just sit here and sit here. Luckily for me, I live in Florida. It'll rain for 25 minutes, downpour for 25 minutes, and then it'll be 90 degrees out. So whatever water is here, it ain't gonna last long. It's not like I live in a place where it's gonna rain for days and days and days. So I'm not worried about the water sitting here. I know that it'll evaporate, or once I drive away, it'll blow away. So let me show you what I have and what I came up with as my idea to seal this gap and this little piece here, okay? All right, let's take a good look. If you look here, you'll see in this corner where my finger is, there's a channel. Is where this piece was welded on top of that piece, and there's a little teeny weeny channel there, okay? So that's where the water's gonna pour in from the back of the windshield.
And then here's, as you can see on your Maverick, you have this channel. And the water is just going to come down and it's going to find its way right in there. So those are the two things that I want to seal to give me a fighting chance of making it as water resistant as possible.
All right, so let's talk about what I did here. Yeah, you can see it, I got it all over my fingers. I use this. I use Black Gasket Maker. This one's from Permatex. I have this. I used to do a lot of engine work on old cars, and you use this for everything. Most people aren't going to have this. And I don't suggest you buy a bottle like this. Way too much money. But you can buy a little tube like this, okay? This happens to be clear. I get it in black. But let's take you in close. Permatex Ultra Black Gasket Maker. Any black gasket maker would work. This is what you would want to get from Amazon or Home Depot or whatever local store you have. It's about $6 to $8. And say, why did I use this? Well, what I know, it's not going to peel. It's not going to get sun faded. It's going to keep up with the heat and the elements because this is made to be under an intake manifold or a water pump or something. So this is going to work. And it's soft, and it's going to stay soft, and it's not going to brittle and dry out and peel off, okay? So let's look here what I did. I put 2 pieces of masking tape. I put the Permatex on top. I smoothed it out. And now, I got to let it sit to dry, but I'm going to pull the masking tape off. And then I'll bring you in close to let you see. So I put masking tape on both sides of this plastic. And because it's black, it's almost the exact same color as this plastic. And then over here, 1 piece of tape, put the Permatex right up against it. Here, let me bring you in so you can see better. All right, we have the tape. We pull the tape off, and you have a nice little bead of gasket right there. So that'll make it even, and it's actually tapered so it comes up a little bit to give me a little better seal. And then let's look at this one. There's the gasket. Let's see if we can focus that in. There's the gasket. I can't touch it, but it's perfectly across. So now when that gasket from the tonneau cover comes down, it'll be able to rest in there and hopefully be able to keep out as much water as possible, okay? And if you look at it, it looks good. And the best part about this gasket maker is I can just grab it, peel it off if I don't want it anymore. Or if I change my tonneau cover or whatever. Same with here. Just grab it, peel it right off. It ain't gonna hurt the paint. It's not gonna do anything, okay? And it stays pliable for its lifetime. All right, well, let's start assembling it. Now, I want to put it all together first, and then straighten it out to make sure it's perfect where I want it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start building it on top here. Let's throw it on there. We're gonna unbuckle it. And we'll talk about putting the sides together. All right, let me show you how the side rails connect to where the tonneau cover is. Remember that bag of bolts with the Allen wrench? You're gonna need that Allen wrench. It's got set screws. Let me show you. All right, let's do this side. So you're gonna have the aluminum extrusion that sticks out, and you're gonna bring up your channel. And you're just gonna put your channel right in there. She'll slide right in, just like so. And then with our Allen wrench, we're gonna, you get your Allen wrench, you set it inside your set screw, and then all you wanna do is snug her up till she's snug. And that holds the side to the front. You don't wanna go too tight, because I don't wanna take any chances of stripping that aluminum, okay? Now let's put her in position, fold her out, and close her up. Alrighty, now we got those side rails on. Let's push her up into position to where we want it. let's close her up. Now, let me show you how this thing closes. We have this metal piece that sticks out. It's going to go into this groove. Here's another thing I really like about this tonneau, especially for the price. It's all metal, and this is very strong plastic here. So we're going to stick it in that groove. Let's go get the other side. Stick it in that groove, and now we're going to close it. Grab it in the middle and pull it down. And she's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around and fix the Velcros. Okay? I'll show you on this side here. All right. Let's get the other side. So it's all closed. Okay, now you might wonder, why'd you do it that way? Why didn't you latch it on and then close it? The reason is now I can get it perfectly square and then put my brackets on. If I put my brackets on and then try to close it up and I'm not perfectly square, then I'll be all over the place. So this way here I know that the tonneau is tight and it's square, and it's easy for me to put it exactly where it needs to be on the bed, okay? So let's see how that goes. All right, let's start off by closing the tailgate. And seeing how much we got. We're way out, right? So let's push it up. And let's take a look at how it sits in this bed. You can easily follow the line. You can easily follow the line to make sure that your tonneau cover is exactly where you want it. Let's go see how it is on the other side. So we gotta turn it a little bit like that. That's pretty good. And I want to get it as high up to the window as I can. Push it up as high as I can to the window, and that's pretty good. So let's open it up. And I want to pull out my first clamp. I want to bring out my first clamp and secure that clamp. All right, let's take a look at these clamps. All right, so I'm going to roll up the tonneau cover, and then we're going to secure the clamps in the position that it was in. Let's make sure we're nice and even. Now you got 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. Let's check the other side. The Maverick really can't make it any easier. It has this line right here, and we're just going to use that. We're going to measure it. Move it over 3/4 of an inch. Move it over 3/4 of an inch. Alright guys, let's talk about the clamps. I'm going to spread them out as even as I can with my eye, and then we're going to measure them to make sure they're perfect. Here's the bottom clamp.
The bottom clamp looks like a U. The top clamp looks like an upside down U. So they're gonna go together. This is gonna go inside that loop and they're gonna hold each other in, and then they're gonna come with these little screws. And as I said again, it's my third time saying it, this Tonneau cover, everything is aluminum or stainless. And it's very sturdy. So let's put the Allen wrench in, and we're just gonna snug it up. We don't want to fully tighten it yet because we're gonna measure it and make sure that we're in the perfect spot. Snug it up. Let's do it again in the middle here. There's a rail here where my finger is. Can you see it? It fits right under there, goes right in there, and then the screw goes in. Allen wrench, snug it up. All right, I'll get all 6 of them, and then we'll line them up and we'll tighten them, okay? All right, let's line up the brackets prior to tightening it up, okay? So I'm gonna go 6 inches from the end. I'm gonna go 6 inches from the front, and then I'm gonna split my difference. So I have 38 inches. I'm gonna do 19 and 19, so 19, we'll move it down a little. Perfect. And let's snug them up. And once again, I'm going to snug it. Alright, and then I'm going to give it a quarter turn. Quarter turn. Or a half turn. I'm going to give it a half turn. I'm going to snug it. Get it as snug as I can with my hand, and then I'm going to give it a half turn. I don't want to put too much tension on these brackets. Half turn. This turn, okay? Snug it up. Half to a 3/4 turn. I don't want to put too much tension on these. I don't want crack or fracture the aluminum. The other side, and we'll get back to the video. Alright guys, we got that on nice and sturdy. Let's unroll it. It has these bars. These bars fit in that channel. Okay? When you buy your own, if your bar happens to fall on top of this clamp, then you need to move the clamp forward or back. You don't want the bar on top of the clamp. You want the bar to fall, on the channel. So we unravel it, and when you get to the end, you got these big sturdy plastic hubs with these metal brackets that come out. There's a slot right here, and they're going to go 1 in each, just like so. Okay? Then you put your 2 hands on top, forcefully push it down. There they go. Now come back with the roll up and fix your Velcro. Get your Velcro nice and tight. The sun will straighten her out. Bring her out in the sun for a day or 2. There will be no wrinkles left. So get the Velcro. Looks good. Has a big rubber seal right here. So when you close your tailgate, the rubber seal matches up with the tailgate. The only place water could probably come in is right here. Like I said, on the Maverick, it doesn't really go up against that bracket, so there's no way of really sealing that.
And there she is. See how we roll it up, okay? So when you're gonna roll it up, the opposite of what you just did. Loosen the Velcro. There it goes. I just stick my thumb in it, slide it right down. Loosen the Velcro. In the middle here is a big strap, okay? You gotta forcefully pull it. Pops up. Let's start rolling it out. Take your straps, clip them on. There it is. So it sticks out a little, but you've got a lot more space with this up here. You can push something right up against it. And that's why I went with the roll up. Alright guys, hope this worked out for you. I hope you liked it and you learned something, and I gotta tell you, you've never done one before, it's easy. Okay? Take you about an hour or so. Just go out and try it and do it. You got nothing to lose. I know the shop owners out there aren't gonna like this, but why pay somebody $200 to just do what I just did? What you could do. Anybody could do it. Okay? If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button, notification button. I'm trying to come out with 1 or 2 videos a week. And I know the video might be a little crude. I'm not no videographer. Just using my iPhone. So let's go from there. You got any questions about the Maverick? You got any questions about the Bronco? Leave it in the comments, and I'll make a little video for you. My next video coming up, maybe the end of this week, is the differences between the interiors of the Bronco and the Maverick. And I gotta tell you, there's a few things on the Maverick that I wish the Bronco had. So that's my next video, okay? You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.